Shaman. And thank you for joining us in this dimensional space called EarthStar Spiritual Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, United States of America. Welcome to all our friends who are local. Welcome to our friends who are worldwide. And welcome to our galactic partners as we make planet Aloha full of Aloha consciousness. We are Dale and Jeanne Stacy, the Abbots of EarthStar Spiritual Center, and we are your host tonight with Heidi Fire Owl. Our topic tonight is the laws of healing, and this is Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. So welcome, Heidi, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad this is happening so much, and we're able to share all that wisdom you got all stored up in that Aries mind of yours. So thank you for being here. And for those who aren't aware of Heidi Fire Owl, Heidi is an intuitive healer. She is a shaman by all means. She is the goddess of the lake. She knows lots of stuff about lots of things from mind, body, and spiritual perspectives, and especially with healing the mind, body, and spirit, healing with energy, healing with our perceptions, our sensual perceptions. So thank you, Heidi, for being here tonight. Was there anything I missed about the big things that you do in life?
I don't think so.
Well, that's great. Good.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here with us tonight. If you're here now, live, if you would chat with us, let us know you're here. Ask Heidi questions. She's got a wealth of information, and she'll be sharing tonight and other nights as well. So I wish you could see her notebooks. I mean, it's truly.
We're going to make a book out of those one day.
Oh, I said if anybody, when I die and somebody finds them, they're going to just shake their head and say, this girl was out there.
Crazy woman.
Yeah, because what was that movie? Russell Crowe was in it, right? Was it A Brilliant Mind or something? Or I forgot the name of that movie. He had this little work shed, and he just had notes all over the place, and people were just trying to figure out what that was. So, yeah, that'll be great. Well, so tonight it is about the laws of healing. So let's go right to our slides, and we have a lot to unpack tonight. So we are with Heidi Fire Owl, and this is June 12th, 2024. So thank you for joining us on this Wednesday night, because this is part of our new setup. We meet on Mondays at 9 o'clock and Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. Mondays will be about simply shaman topics, and Wednesdays we'll try to stick with shamanic life coaching and some sort of synergy healing. So on Wednesday nights, not only is this for folks who want to heal themselves in mind, body, and spirit, but also it's for those of you who are shamanic life coaches and synergy healers. Perhaps you can pick up some tips on how to help your clients find that perfect homeostasis of mind, body, and spirit harmony. All right, so, and we are EarthStar Spiritual Center. We're a multi-faith church online right now for Living Aloha. I've been doing this since 2002. Our core principles are Aloha on the left there. You see all loving God, love, oneness, heart path, and as above, so below. All right, well, we're going to turn this over to Miss Heidi and let her give us all of her wisdom as far as the 8 laws of teaching. Remember, if you have any questions, 8 laws of healing. Yeah, she's teaching 8 laws of healing, right? And if you have any questions, then make sure you chat and let us know who you are, where you're at, and if you have any questions or anything to add to the conversation. All right, Heidi, that's all yours. Take it away.
Thank you. So first, I just want to let you guys know that we're talking about the 8 laws of healing tonight, because we had talked about moving in. I've been teaching about the medicine wheel and the 4 directions, and so we were talking about, possibly doing some more stuff with the medicine wheel. And I really don't want to move forward into the medicine wheel teachings until I go over the 8 laws of healing, because when we go into the 4 directions, we want to talk about the healing aspects in each one of what we can do to help ourselves in our healing journey. So it's important to understand the 8 laws of healing, and it's important to understand that we are designed to heal. So what I'm going to tell you here tonight is basically it's pretty basic. It's the 8 laws of healing, and it's things that you can do that are required for harmony and balance for your body, mind, spirit, and emotions. And there's a quote here by E.G. White, and she says, all our enjoyment or suffering may be traced back to obedience or transgression of natural law. And that's so true. So the 8 laws of healing, if you obey the 8 laws of healing, you absolutely surely can be on your way to healing, or if not, completely healed. So the 8 laws of healing are sunshine, air, which is oxygen. We're talking about oxygen, water, nutrition, exercise, sleep or rest, temperance, which means moderation or abstinence, and trust or faith, trust and faith. Okay, so let's get started.
That's great. Because really, Heidi, except for nutrition, all those are just about free. I mean, it doesn't take much money at all to participate in those suggestions you just gave. Yeah,
well, and nutrition actually can be free if you know how to forage.
Yes, that'd be great.
I always tell people, yeah. I do tell people the best medicine is free, and and it is. We're given everything on this earth that we need. So the trust and faith in that.
That'd be good. So that'll be another show or another chapter in your book. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
So the laws of healing, laws that are working in nature are working in us, because remember, we are not separate from nature. We are part of nature. So the laws that are working in nature are working in us to create balance and harmony. If we adhere to these laws, we can bring harmony to our body, mind, spirit, and emotions. Disease is an effort of nature to free the system of conditions of the violation of basic laws of health. So when you are diagnosed with a disease, which are just a name given to your symptoms, when you are given a name for your symptoms, it is because you have violated these laws of healing in some way. We are created under God's government, mental, based on free will. It is your God-given right. You are the one who chooses what to do to and with your body. And over the past few years, so many people forget this. I mean, it is just amazing how many people have had their amygdala hijacked by fear to be controlled, to have them forget that we are created with free will to choose for ourselves. We are just free beings to choose for ourselves what we do or what we don't do with and to our own body. You are the one who decides what goes into your body mentally and physically, spiritually, emotionally, thought-wise, all of it. You are the one who ultimately decides that. We are given this free will. And if I could stress one thing to anybody, it is, please remember this. Please remember that you have this free will, and you are the one who decides. We are given this. This is how we're born. So between stimulus and response, we have the freedom to choose. So anytime that, there's anything going on and you have to respond in some way to say yes or no, or I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Just remember that you have this freedom. You have that freedom to choose. It's our God-given right.
Yeah, we have more control than maybe sometimes we think about, don't we?
We have, I mean, yes, all the way. Setting boundaries is that's a whole nother topic, but yes, we are in control of our own self always. So don't forget that. One thing is everybody, so many people have amnesia where they just don't remember things. So these teachings hopefully will jar a little something in you to, spark a reminder that, we are and we were created under God's government based on free will.
Yes.
And it's your God-given right. It is your absolute God-given right. You are free to choose.
That's great. And then Heidi, I know you mentioned the word harmony up there earlier, and I know that's a relative word for people to define because everybody has their own idea of what. Oh yeah, I'm harmonious in this, mind, body, and spirit. But for the people who are listening and maybe on the replay too, how would you define harmony for you, and how could people come to some sort of conclusion with a definition for themselves?
So honestly, in layman's terms, how I define harmony is lack of drama. I don't have any drama. I just create this very peaceful, like even in my body, if something's off, like my digestion is off, I know that I'm doing something that has created an imbalance. So I need to get back to balance so that I can have that harmony of all of my organs working together properly. So harmony for me is when I have a flow, when everything is flowing freely, like there's, nothing, no blocks or imbalances. So that's, for me, that's how I define harmony in my life.
Yeah, that's great. Because lots of things can knock us off that balance beam of life. So yeah,
that's so wonderful. Easy. Yeah, I mean it is. There's a lot, people, places, things, stuff.
Yes. All right, great.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay. So the first law of healing is sunshine. So sunshine is UVB light. It's blue light. And what it does is when we're outside and we're getting sun, okay, it enters the skin, it enters through our skin, and it goes under basically like that first layer of skin. It converts to a form of cholesterol. And that once it converts to that form of cholesterol, it turns into vitamin D. And then the vitamin D circulates through our body, and it helps with the assimilation and the metabolism of calcium into the cells, which brings minerals into the bones. So vitamin D is vital for a lot of body functions. So the bones have 12 main minerals and 64 trace minerals, So we are made up of, we have a lot of minerals in our body that we require. So sunlight helps to create this harmony, if you will, of, this mineral balance. And all it takes is 10 to 15 minutes a day at sunrise or sunset. And that is also vital to helping balance your circadian clock, which is your body's internal clock that tells you when it's time to wake up or it's time to sleep. Sunshine also goes through the retina in your eye, and it enters into the pineal gland, and it affects your neural pathways, which help to release important hormones. And those hormones would be serotonin, which is your feel-good, happy hormone. And, you know, that's why a lot of people are a lot happier when it's sunny outside, because we're releasing a lot of serotonin. It also releases your epithalamin, and that has to do with your learning capacity, and it also helps with slowing the aging process. Then it also helps to release arginine vasotosin, which is like a pain reliever, and it also helps with restful sleep. And then the last one is melatonin. So most people understand that sunlight helps with melatonin through the circadian, you know, clock, because we need that melatonin to let us know, you know, it helps us rest and rejuvenate. So a lot of people take melatonin at night because they're deficient in melatonin. Melatonin is actually an ancient molecule, and it's very, very good for so many functions in the body. So sunlight helps to release these hormones. So 1 hour a day also helps to alkalize your body. So if you know anything about, you know, your body, you know that really to have optimal health, you want to maintain the proper pH, a balanced pH. And in order to have a balanced pH, you need an alkaline body. So 1 hour a day in sunlight helps to alkalize your body. Sunlight is also antibacterial, antifungal. It purifies with negative ions. So I always hang my clothes and my blankets and my dog beds and pillows and things like that. I take all of my stuff out on the deck, and I lay all my stuff out when it's really sunny. And if you do that, if you just put something out in the sun, you can actually, when you bring it in, you can actually smell the purification on those items. It's actually really cool, and it's so awesome because that smell is just like, oh, it's so beautiful. So I don't know if some of you know what rickets is, but you know, years ago, they used to put these braces on kids' legs and things like that when they, you know, said that they had rickets. And rickets is basically just a lack of sunshine. It's a lack of vitamin D. And if you're interested in learning more about sunshine, a good resource for that would be Dr. Jack Krause. And I've put his information down there at the bottom.
That's great. And we're both blessed to live in a part of the globe that has lots of sunshine, really all 4 seasons. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
All right. Outstanding. Sunshine. Again, something that's free. Sunshine.
Yes. So the second law of healing is air, oxygen. It is a vital element for life and energy. Our lungs inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, which is the waste, you know, that our cells put off. So it's very vital that we get enough clean air and that we're breathing enough oxygen in. So oxygen is the essential component of aerobic cells. And most of our cells, you know, we want them to be in that aerobic state. If a cell has no oxygen, it goes into this fermentation process, which is the anaerobic state, to produce energy. And if you know anything about the anaerobic or the anaerobic cells, or the aerobic and the anaerobic cells, you know that fungus and cancer are both anaerobic cells. So we do not want those. So in order to have more aerobic cells, we need to have that good oxygen flow. So oxygenated cells give us 18 times more energy than non-oxygenated. So we know that if we have enough oxygen flowing through the body, we know that it alkalizes the body, it invigorates us, it electrifies us, it soothes our nerves. And if we're in hypoxia, which is when we have, you know, limited oxygen, we know that it creates an acidic body, causes fatigue, nausea, and headaches. So ways that you can increase your oxygen, the number one way to increase your oxygen is exercise. When you're exercising, and you're getting enough oxygen, your cells, it's pushing all of that oxygen through your cells, and you're just creating more. So exercise is the most efficient and effective way to increase your oxygen intake, even though it might not feel like it when you're running and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm so out of breath, but you are creating more oxygen in the cells. Also, good posture. When you're sitting straight and you have good posture and you're not slouched over, you are able to use your abdominal muscles and your abs for breathing. So when we breathe, we want to make sure that we're taking, deep breaths all the way down. That's how we can also increase our oxygen, is to take those real deep breaths and, sit up straight and make sure that that oxygen can flow. And also breathing through the nose. When we breathe through the nose, we are not, when we breathe through the nose and then we actually exhale through the mouth, which it's okay sometimes, but it's not ideal to do that all the time because we're losing too much carbon dioxide. So you really want to try not nose breathing, throughout the day, and especially at night. You want to really try not to breathe through your mouth at night. You want to just really try to breathe through your nose at night. So those are ways that you can increase your oxygen. The number one thing I would say is just keep moving, exercise your body. If you want to know more about oxygen, you can look up the books on the right-hand side there, The Ozone Miracle and O2 Therapies. Ed McCabe, he's actually a really good author for books on oxygen. Okay.
All right, great wisdom on that also. And again, this is free. Thanks to our plants on Mother Earth, it's all this wonderful oxygen. And we really aren't taught much about oxygen because when we think about it, we only have 2 to 3 minutes. If we don't have oxygen, we are gone from this earth plane. So yes. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but it's amazing that we just aren't taught about oxygen and breathing.
It's vital for our life.
Yes, it is. All right.
So the next law of healing is water. Water cleans the tissue, the extracellular matrix. That is the tissue that surrounds the cell. So it cleans the tissue as it enters the cell. And what I always like to tell people is if you can picture a sponge and picture like a dry sponge, and then if you take 2 dry sponges and you put them in a bowl of water, if you have a dry sponge and a wet sponge and you put them in a bowl of water, you can see how long it takes for that dry sponge to soak up that water and sink to the bottom, where the wet sponge will sink to the bottom automatically. So that is just an illustration, if you can get in your mind that if you have dirty tissue, if the tissue around your cell is dirty or dry, if you're dehydrated, it is going to take a long time for that water to get into and soak that tissue enough to where it can get down into the cell. So it's very important to stay hydrated because that's what, it's what cleans the tissue. And the tissue that surrounds the cell is where a lot of toxins are built up. So we want to keep that tissue clean. So water cleans the tissue, the extracellular matrix, as it enters the cell. It also alkalizes the body. It hydrates the body and is vital for functions. It's vital for kidney and colon function. So, if you're constipated and you can't take a crap, well, then you know that you are dehydrated. because what ends up happening is, you know, the colon needs water, and it has water in it, and that's how it flushes our waste out. If we are not hydrated enough, then our colon becomes dry, or, you know, our body will actually take water from the colon to use it in other areas, and then it dries out the colon, and then all our crap gets stuck in there and we can't go. So it's really important to keep, you know, to stay hydrated. We lose approximately 2 quarts of water a day, just in general. Our kidneys excrete 1.5 quarts, our skin 0.5, the colon 0.3, and the lungs 0.2. So it's really important to replenish. How you replenish is you need to drink a little bit of water at a time and in between meals. The body will only absorb 4 ounces at a time, and the rest you're just peeing out. So when you're peeing, you're also going to be losing minerals when you're doing that. So it's important to replenish with minerals. I use salt. So it's important to replenish with minerals throughout the day, because every time you pee, you're losing, you know, you're excreting your minerals, sodium especially. So don't drink with your meals. You know, it's so funny when you go to a restaurant, the first thing when you sit down, they're like, what can I get you to drink? It's so bad to drink with your meals, because it waters down the your hydrochloric acid, which is your HCl, which is the bile basically that, you know, you need to break your food down. So if that gets watered down, it can't do its job to break up your food, you know, as efficiently. So my recommendation is, you know, drink maybe 15 or 20 minutes before your meal, 15 to 20 minutes after, but don't drink with your meal. It just confuses your digestive tract.
Yeah.
So sodium is lost when you drink water, like I said before, because you're, you know, when you pee, when you go to the bathroom, you're peeing out minerals. So you're losing minerals. So you are going to lose minerals. So you want to replenish it with a healthy mineral salt. And Himalayan salt or Celtic salt has approximately 82 minerals. So you do not want to use that nasty white table salt. Don't ever use that. It's actually, it has like toxic chemicals in it. It's bleached, it's processed. There's nothing good in that white table salt at all. In fact, it will also dehydrate you. So signs of dehydration could be low back pain. If your lower back hurts, that is a sign of dehydration. A headache, achy joints, and your synovial fluid, which is in between your joints and all around your body. So if you're those are some signs of dehydration. If you're interested in a few books, now I have like a ton of books. So I just am going to mention a few for each one that will help you guys if you want to, you know, do some more research on your own. But these are 2 really good ones. Your Body's Many Cries for Water, and also You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. And they're both, I cannot pronounce his name, but they're both by the same author. Really, really. Are you still there?
Yep, there you go. It was cutting out. Are you back now? Yeah, when you were reading that second book, it was cutting out. So You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Both by the the Batman guy there.
Yes.
That's great. Oh, wonderful information, Heidi. Guys, I felt like I was on the cliff notes of a biology class. I wish you'd have been around during my SAT times. I would have scored higher, I bet. So thank you.
Yeah, I didn't do so good in school.
Well, you're doing great now.
Heidi, you've always told me that when something's wrong, you need minerals. And so you're just proving that with all this information that you learned through the years. So thank you for all that.
Yeah,
and I can remember, and probably it's still going on too, always telling us to make sure we drink enough water. Our urine should be perfectly clear. And then people are drinking all this water. You're drinking 2 or 3 big gulps a day. And next thing you know, you're peeing out all these wonderful minerals in your body, and you're actually just harming yourself. So you got to be careful with that, about how much you drink.
Yeah.
All right, outstanding.
Okay, the next law of healing is nutrition. So, I didn't really put a whole lot into this one, just because it's kind of common sense. Most people know if you are not eating real food, then you're going to be sick, in one way or another. I mean, we know that red dye, or, the dyes, we know that they cause, they're neurotoxins. So, they cause a lot of mental health issues, or what we classify as mental health issues in children. All that junk food that they eat, those dyes, they're neurotoxins. So they're really messing with their head, and they're totally off balance from that stuff, sugar, all that. So the nutritional law of healing is to eat real food. And if you can just think about it this way, if the food grows, that is real food, and not grown in a lab. I'm talking about if it's grown in soil.
Yeah.
If this food grows, then it's real food. And also if it provides nutrition. We have gotten so far away from understanding why we eat. People just eat like just willy-nilly, like all the time, for just because food's available. We're so gluttonous. I mean, we're just constantly eating all the time, like snacking or, whatever. So we've just really lost sight of why we are supposed to be eating. Like forever ago, we had to hunt for our food and gather. We were hunters gatherers. We're actually omnivores. So we had to hunt and gather our food. And when we did that, we had this one big, huge meal, and we would eat and be full. And, a lot of animals do this, and we are animals. So, we'd be full, and it took a lot of effort to do that. So that food, we had to make that food last. And so a lot of people forget, and, we survived. Like, a lot of people just forget that, if you're not eating real food, and you're not eating food that grows, and you're not putting food in, ask yourself, why am I eating this? If you're trying to get in balance with like your weight, or, if you have brain fog, or hormone issues and things like that, that stuff can be repaired with and healed through nutrition. So let food be thy medicine. You also want to add some fermented food, which helps your digestion, and it helps balance your gut pH. And that would be stuff like sauerkraut, or kombucha, or kimchi, which I don't care for, but those are things.
Does.
Even though I'm Korean, yes, let's put in a kimchi plug.
Right?
You gotta have the kimchi I make. It's different. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll try anything.
I don't make it with fish sauce. Yeah. I make it like my mama made. She didn't make it with any kind of fish in it. Yeah.
All right, I'll give it a try. Yeah, so we want to add the fermented foods. And then also we really want to maintain an alkaline source of nutrition. So, there's tons of charts out there on acid alkaline foods. And if you're struggling with health in any way, really, I tell people, start there. Like, start with your water, start getting outside, and your, nutrition. Just add some alkaline sources of nutrition get rid of the processed foods, and eat real food. So, things that we want to avoid when you're looking at the ingredients on things, you know, it really should be pretty simple. Food that grows. So, if you're looking at things that you need to avoid, flavoring. Natural flavor is not natural, and it is not just natural flavoring. When they're using natural flavoring in something, it could actually be, it could be anything. So they're using the word or the term natural flavor as a cover basically for so many things. Regardless, it's not healthy. So flavoring or natural flavor is not natural. Any artificial ingredients or preservatives, ingredients that you cannot pronounce. If you can't pronounce it, you want to put that in your body? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Any kind of packaged foods. I don't care if it says vegan. I don't care if it says keto. I don't care if it says healthy choice or whatever. If it comes in a package, especially in plastic, it is not going to be healthy. Now there are lately, you know, there are some companies that are really trying to make things like some packaged things that are better for you. So I have found some like jerky sticks that are just meat with no nitrates and no junk, no preservatives, no nothing in it. So I have found a few packaged, you know, things that are cleaner. But you know, that should never be the, you know, the staple or the main, your main nutrition sources or food sources, because there's no nutrition in that stuff. So you also want to avoid any kind of heated or seed oils. So if you're getting oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil are the best ones, and it needs to be cold pressed and it needs to be organic. Otherwise, you're just eating rancid oil, which is actually a carcinogen. So you want to avoid heated and seed oils. You want to avoid any ingredient with a number sign, dyes, all of that stuff. You want to avoid anything that says refined or denatured. You also want to avoid sugar. You know, cancer cells consume 50% more glucose than any other cell. Cancer cells feed on sugar. So you can actually starve cancer cells by cutting out every grain of sugar.
Yeah.
And you also want to avoid pasteurized dairy and only consume raw if you're consuming dairy. And if you want to know some really good nutritional information, just read the book, The China Study by Dr. Colin Campbell. That's a really good book. I can't remember. It was written a while ago, but it's got a lot of good information in there.
Outstanding. You go to the grocery store, just stick to the outside edges. That's what we've heard, right? The produce, the vegetables, the meat, and then if you can consume, you know, the dairy, cheese.
So, yeah, I mean, if you do go to the grocery store, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm one of those crazy people that I go to farmers markets, and there are some great websites that you can go to. Local Harvest is one of them. Eat Raw, I believe is another one. And you can type your address in there and it will show you every farm that is in your area. And literally what I do is I grocery shop at farms. It is very rare that I go into a grocery store anymore. All of my food, I mean, you know, I don't have snacks in my cabinets or any of that kind of stuff. I have real food here at my house that I get from farmers. So, and there's more and more farms coming up around, and I just highly suggest that you help support these people, because someday that might be your only food source. So, and you can start small, just at your farmer's market, you know, getting vegetables first. Start there.
That'd be great. And Heidi, I'll get those website places from you later. I'll add those to the show notes. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Outstanding. Nutrition. All right.
Okay, so the next law of healing is exercise. So exercise is a process whereby the body performs work of a demanding nature, where muscular loading must render momentary muscular failure within 1 to 3 minutes. And that's a quote by Dr. Ann McCombs. And if you don't know who she is, she's a doctor, or an osteopathic doctor, and you should look her up, because she really has a lot of really good information out there. Exercise creates a movement of life through the body. So again, going back to the oxygen, exercise is how oxygen is able to circulate throughout the body. So when we're moving, you know, we're creating more oxygen, and we're moving that through the moving blood and oxygen and all of that through the body. So exercise creates the movement of life through the body. It also helps to balance by transporting water and transporting waste. So if you think about a stagnant pond with stagnant water and all the stuff that's on top there, and all that smell, and everything's rancid and raunchy, and just, you know, and stuff's growing, and there's fungus and mold. That's what happens in the body when we have, you know, when we're stagnant. So stagnant water equals disease, and a stagnant body equals disease. So you've got to move. So factors of health that are benefited from exercise are: it increases oxygen to the cells, strengthens the body, increases endurance, flexibility, lubricates your joints, helps your cardiovascular, helps your heart, you know, work efficiently, so stuff isn't all clogged up, helps with your bone strength, and it also helps improve your mental health. So one thing that people kind of get confused is that exercise is not recreation. And if we learn to separate the two, you will actually see greater health results. So a lot of people say that they, you know, ride their bike, you know, they'll pack up their family, and they'll, you know, take a little bike ride or whatever. And they'll say, you know, that's my exercise. Well, exercise should be something that you dedicate time to, that is strenuous, that is going to make you sweat, that is really going to get your heart rate up. And okay, yes, cycling can do that if that cycling is, you know, to the max. But if you're just taking a leisurely walk, like I walk my dogs every single day, I don't consider that my exercise. That's my recreation, because I am not on this, you know, really fast walk with them. And also, if we dedicate and separate the two, it kind of actually improves our mental health also, because the recreation becomes more fun. You know, even though we're moving our body and we're sort of exercising, but it's not considered exercise. So if you actually separate the two and you dedicate time, and it doesn't have to be every single day. In fact, there is a man who does, and I can't remember what his name is, but there's a guy who does these DNA testing on your genetics that will tell you exactly what kind of exercise you're supposed to be doing for your genetics. And some people, their genetics only requires 1 hour of exercise a week for them to actually lose weight. And then the rest of it could be just recreation, riding your bike, taking a little walk with your dog, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting, and I'll have to dig through my notes to find that guy's information, but it's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
So
wonderful. We got to move the body some way, somehow. Now,
yeah.
Heidi, would you say, now you're not talking about necessarily joining up with a gym, because some people have strenuous jobs, and a lot of people do work at home, right? They're doing household chores, gardening, things like that, mowing the yard, the lawn, and all that. So that would also be included as far as exercising the body, right?
No, that's actually recreation.
Okay.
Nope, that's recreation.
That's recreation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we want a dedicated time to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Well, and you don't have to join a gym. There's so many programs on. There's actually a really good person on YouTube. Her name is Glow with Joe, I believe, and she does all these home workouts, and some of them are like 15 minutes, and you're sweating your tail off. That is exercise. It's this dedicated time. I love a rebounder. A rebounder is extremely beneficial for every single part of your body. It's so easy on your joints. It's great for your lymphatic system and your circulatory system. And it is a workout. And you're defying gravity. It actually is one of the best workouts that you can get for your body.
And doesn't take
No, you can tuck that thing somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful advice. Exercise. Moving along.
Okay. So the next one is sleep or rest. So we know that our cells regenerate 2 times more while we sleep. The stomach also needs rest and sleep to rebuild its digestive juices. So while you're sleeping, that's when your digestive tract is taking a break. That's why it's really important not to eat, before you go to bed, because your digestive tract needs to rebuild those digestive juices. Your brain needs sleep to reboot the cognitive function. So, if you don't get enough sleep, you wake up in the morning, you can't really think straight, and you're just like, and your brain fog all day and whatever. So your brain needs sleep to reboot your cognitive function. The glands in the body also need sleep to help balance out your hormones. If you're having a lot of hormonal imbalances, you need more sleep. So the ideal sleeping environment would be to be in complete darkness, to have absolute quiet with no electronics, no EMFs. They're extremely disruptive to the sleep cycle. Some people sleep with headphones in. Some people sleep with their phone next to their head, or even in their room. If you do have your phone in your room, put it on airplane mode. You don't want the TV on. You don't want any of that. You want complete darkness and quiet. Do not eat for at least 3 hours before bed, and ideally 5. And that way, again, your digestive system can get, it can relax and it can rebuild the digestive juices. Also, that fasting or that intermittent fasting time is really going to reset your body. And it's going to balance out a lot of your hormones. It's going to help you lose weight. It's going to just help with so many body functions. Another important part of a good night's sleep is forgiveness. You want to say prayers at night. Say prayers of gratitude and say prayers of forgiveness. Forgive yourself for things that you said and did during the day. And knowing that you can start over again when you wake up after you get that good night's sleep. And, just ask for forgiveness and ask for forgiveness for other people. And they don't have to know about it. It really helps to settle your mind and your heart, to create that, that peace so that you can fall asleep peacefully, letting go of things. So you also just want to create a really peaceful place to rest. And however that is, if you like crystals in your room, and understand some crystals actually are energizing. So you just want to kind of, just pay attention to that. Yeah. So there are some books that are really good. Matthew Walker wrote a book called Why We Sleep. And then another really good book is called The Promise of Sleep. A pioneer in sleep medicine explores the vital connection between health, happiness, and a good night's sleep. And that's William Demmett and Christopher Vaughn.
Excellent. Sleeping and resting. How many hours a night would you suggest folks try to sleep? Is there a certain number?
So, there's so much research, and The Promise of Sleep book, he talks about that a lot in there. And one of the things is understanding that, some people do fine on 5 hours of sleep. Some people need 8 hours. Some people need a nap during the day. Your body is individual to you, where it is actually good. We know the circadian clock. It's really good to go to bed between 9 and 11. Otherwise, our internal clock is a little messed up, and that can affect our organs. So, that's kind of an important thing. But the number of hours that you get, the time that you sleep, number of hours wise, when people age, their sleep patterns are different. So it's just really important to pay attention to your own body. If you feel like crap, because you only got 3 hours of sleep, well, maybe you need 5. Maybe you need to go to bed at 11 instead of 2 a.m. or, whatever. So it's just really important to pay attention to your own body.
All right. Yes. Excellent wisdom. Yes. All right. Next, temperance.
Yep. So the next law of healing is temperance. And that's, just handling things with moderation or abstinence. So in order to create balance and harmony, we moderate all good things and we abstain from anything harmful. Now, remember the terms good and bad. A lot of people say there is no good and there is no bad. It's all just neutral. Well, that's all fine and dandy until you realize that something doesn't feel right for you. So if something doesn't feel right, then it's going to be harmful. So we want to moderate all good things that, gel with us, that, make us feel good. We want to moderate those things because we can get a little crazy on the good stuff too. Sometimes I eat a little too much ice cream. Yes. So we want to moderate all good things and we want to abstain from anything harmful. And if we cannot moderate, then we just need to abstain from that. I have a problem. Sugar is very addictive. So I do better if I just don't have it in the house. If I don't have it around, if I have it around, I'm going to eat it and I'm going to eat it all. So I just know that, there's certain things that I cannot do in moderation. So I'm just going to say, you know what, I just can't have that. So if we find that we can't moderate, then we need to just abstain. And so examples of harmful things to avoid completely would be alcohol and drugs, sugar, wheat, chemicals, MSG, excessive EMFs, the screen time, because it does affect our, affects our mental health, and excessive negativity, thoughts, and excessive, negative environments. So we just really want to try to avoid or abstain from those things as much as we can.
Yeah, all that drama we talked about earlier for balance and harmony, right?
Let me tell you what, when you cut drama out of your life, it's like you will just never go back. You won't, and you just it won't even phase you. You'll just be like, girl, you're over there having all that drama, and I'm telling you, it is absolutely, it's just a lifesaver. So yeah, drama, negativity, melodrama, all that kind of stuff. And some people are just so addicted to melodrama. They're so addicted to constantly like just having this trauma in their life, and they have no identity without it. So
yeah, exactly.
It's not serving you in a healthy way.
Right.
Okay, so the last one is having trust and faith. And God has, this is a quote from Timothy 7:1, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the power of love and of sound mind. And in Hebrews 11:1, it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So we forget, because we're just so caught up in all of this physical stuff of like having to see things, or we need to see results. We need, and so then we just give up. We just give up. We don't have faith. So faith is a substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things not seen. And don't forget that God created us with the power of will, or free will. We have the right and the privilege to choose. Trust and faith creates an alkaline environment in the body because we're at peace and we're not releasing, the fear hormones. So fear creates an acidic environment in the body, and it does that, through releasing hormones, cortisol, things like that. And those are very acidic to the body. Trust and faith allows us to be less focused on eliminating disease and more focused on engaging our innate healing abilities. So when we have trust and faith, we're less focused on trying to eliminate disease. And because of the fact that we know innately that our body is designed to heal and that God created us to heal, if we give the body what it needs. And all of this, trust and faith helps to reduce stress, because you're turning things over. You're saying, I don't have to carry all of this worry and all this burden and, all of this. I don't have to carry all this stress. The body is designed to heal if we give it what it needs and create a balanced, harmonious environment. Trust and faith are the foundations for this healing template.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yes, our default nature is wellness, harmony, and balance. So just think of the things we do to ourselves, our choices that remove us from that harmony, calm, and balance.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, Heidi. Thank you so very much. Lots of wisdom there. I think that's the last one. Oh, wait, got a quote.
Yeah, so just summarizing it, here's a quote from Robert Boyle from 1690. It is highly dishonorable for a reasonable soul living in so divinely a built mansion as the body she resides in to be totally unacquainted with this exquisite structure.
Oh, how true. Goodness. Wow.
So I encourage all of you so much to get to know the body, get to know the design of the body, get to know how it works, and most importantly, get to know the fact and understand and remember that we were created in God's government with free will to choose. So you can choose whether you're, putting junk in yourself, in your mind, in your heart, in your body, in your word hole. You have that. You choose. You can say, no, I'm not having this, or hell yeah, I'm having that.
That's wonderful. Thank you for all that wonderful wisdom. And I know to some of our folks, normally we went a little longer this time, but we really didn't want to do the laws in 2 videos. We really wanted to do it all at one time. So thank you for hanging in there with us. And so let me show you a couple more slides and we'll close it out. So just remember, we are all in this one collective diamond many facets. So make sure you live your life and know that we're above, below, within, without, and all around this time and for all of eternity. And that's who we are, and that's where we will stay and be and live our lives. Okay? And remember your divine nature. Not only are you're well and healed and calm and balanced, but you are divine. You're awesome, beautiful, and perfect. So please remember that always. Thank you, Heidi, so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom, which I'm sure a couple of chapters there we can put in a book. That would be great. And so this will carry us forward for the next sessions, the next following Wednesdays, and we can focus on the medicine wheel and specifically each direction as far as healing and shamanic life is. That would be great, fabulous. So make sure you join us here next Wednesday when we will do that.
Okay, Heidi, that was fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Information. Yes, it was fantastic.
Wonderful. Master class. Thank you so very much.
I'm going to have to go back and listen again.
Yeah, and we can when you get so that was everything from nose to toes. So I think we covered everything. So send us those links, if you will, on the food things you mentioned about more food.
Yes, I will.
Food, and I'll add that to the show notes later. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and especially those who are with us tonight, and also the ones on replay. So remember, be balanced, calm, and harmonious, because that's your natural state. All right. Let's end with a pow. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pow. All right. We love y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. So have a most wonderful evening. Our most wonderful weekend also. Well, wait. This is just Wednesday. Never mind. We got 2 days left for the weekend. Yeah. So have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon. We love you. Aloha.